friends. Happy Earth Day. What a gorgeous day it is outside. I hope you've had time to play outside today. Um, I tried to read the book outside today. I tested it. It was a little too windy, so I moved in here in my sunroom, but I'm sitting by the open screen door, and so you might see it blowing these plants back here, the wind. You might hear my neighborhood kids outside playing. That's because I'm sitting by the open door so I can feel the fresh air and hear the wind and the birds. But I couldn't read out there. It was just a little bit too windy, so I moved in here. But today is Earth Day, actually, and I have a book called It's Earth Day. And I know you guys like little critter books. We read those at school a lot by Mercer Mayer. This is another little critter book about Earth Day. Today we learned about Earth Day. It's a special day when we celebrate our planet. We watched a movie about Earth's climate. Climate is how hot or cold it is outside. The Earth is getting hotter because the ice at the North Pole is melting. That's where the polar bears live. Yikes. I have to help slow down the melting. They're on their computer, doing research. Dad, what can we do to stop the ice at the North Pole from melting? Well, let's find out, said Dad. It turns out that the energy we use doing everyday things like driving cars and watching TV is making the Earth warmer. We have to save energy, I said. So I turn off the computer and the lights as fast as I can to save energy. Careful, Dad. The next morning, when my little sister is brushing her teeth, I turn the faucet off. We have to save water. That helps save our planet and helps save the polar bears. I didn't want to take the bus to school that morning. I wanted to walk. But Mom said, the bus saves energy because then all the moms and dads don't have to drive their cars to take you to school. Ooh, good thinking, Mom. The less cars, the less pollution. After school, my friends and I collect cans and bottles and newspapers and take them to the recycling center. We put the money that we earned in a big jar to give to Critterville Charity. The charity's called We Love the Polar Bears. The next day was Earth Day. Look, they're outside, aren't they? Our whole class went to the park and we planted trees. Trees are good for the earth. They help clean the air. It was hard work. Come on, guys, I said, let's do it for the earth and do it for the polar bears. Our teacher thought that I should dig a little bit smaller holes. We made signs that said, reduce, reuse, recycle. Then we put the signs up everywhere to remind people how they can help too. That night I couldn't sleep, so I went to the kitchen for a snack. And I saw a little sign in our refrigerator that said climate control. That's it, I yelled. I know how to save the polar bears. The next morning, I got to work. I made a list, just like Mom does, and I drew up a plan, just like Dad does. And little sister helped me collect everything on my list. The most important thing was ice. I put all of the parts together. What is it? My mom asked. It's a climate control machine, I said. It'll cool down our earth and save it for the polar bears. How's it work? My mom asked. Well, I said, the fan blows over the ice and it makes the air cooler and keeps the ice at the North Pole from melting. That will save the polar bears. I put a thermometer up and I waited for the climate control machine to start. But my ice kept melting, so I had to borrow ice from everyone in my neighborhood. I worked hard all day long and the temperature stayed the same. Finally, it got dark and it grew colder. Hooray! But the next morning, the temperature went back up. The climate control machine doesn't work, I said. I'm never going to be able to save the polar bears. That's not true, my dad said, because remember what we learned? I turned off my computer at night, and little sister turns off the water when she brushes her teeth, and we turn off the lights when we leave our rooms. Then Dad added, and remember, you and your friends collected bottles and cans and newspapers for recycling, and you planted trees for fresh air. That made me think, wow, we all are climate control machines because everything we do can help save the earth. And don't forget the polar bears. Did you like that book with Little Critter? I did. I like Little Critter books. So we all can play our part, no matter how small we are. We can turn off lights when we leave the room and use less water and recycle things, right? You guys can do that. Well, remember we went on a nature walk the other day in my video on Monday, and I collected some nature items, and I made a collage with my nature items, so I'm going to show you it. It's just a little animal that I made. Remember I collected some flowers and leaves. Let's see if I can get it in there. And sticks. And I used the dandelion for the sun. So you can make anything you want. I don't even know what kind of animal I made. It's just an animal. What do you think it is? A giraffe or a horse? I don't know. It has 4 legs though. You guys can make whatever you want to make with your nature items and have fun doing that. Happy Earth Day!